The alert comes at 4 in the morning. A high-pitched tone pierces through every device, every phone, every television in the city. People jolt awake, hearts pounding, staring at screens that display a single message. Emergency broadcast. This is not a drill. Hostile actions detected. Seek immediate shelter. No one understands at first. Social media explodes with confusion. Is this a test? A hack? But then the news channels flicker to life with shaking camera footage. Smoke rising over a military base in Poland. Explosions lighting up the night sky over Guam. Reports flooding in from Taiwan, from Okinawa, from missile silos buried deep in the American heartland. The world has not stumbled into war. It has been thrown into it with calculated precision. A man in his apartment grabs his phone, scrolling frantically through the chaos of information. His hands tremble. The reports are coming faster than he can read them. Strategic strikes. Coordinated attacks. Multiple nations involved. He tries calling his brother who works near a command center on the coast, but the line is dead. He tries again. Nothing. The cellular network is collapsing under the weight of millions making the same desperate attempt to reach loved ones. Outside his window, the city is transforming. Car alarms wail in unison. People pour into the streets, some running, some standing frozen in disbelief. The grocery store on the corner already has a line stretching around the block. He watches as someone tries to smash through the locked door. Panic is spreading faster than any official information. The television screen splits into a dozen feeds. A reporter in Brussels stammers through a bulletin as sirens scream behind him. A military spokesman in Washington speaks with forced calm, urging citizens to remain indoors, to follow evacuation protocols that most people do not even know exist. A shaky video from someone in Taipei shows streaks of light cutting through the pre-dawn darkness. The streaks are followed by distant thunder that is not thunder at all. The man realizes he cannot stay in his apartment. He grabs a bag, throwing in whatever seems essential. His mind races. Water, food, documents. His hands move automatically, but his thoughts are stuck on a single question. How did it happen so fast? There were tensions, yes. Threats exchanged. Military posturing. But this is not an escalation. This is an opening move designed to win before the other side can even respond. He steps into the hallway and finds his neighbors doing the same. No one speaks. Everyone is listening to phones, to radios, trying to piece together what is happening. An older man shakes his head slowly, muttering that he remembers the drills from decades ago, but never thought he would see this day. A younger guy, barely out of his teens, looks pale, asking if anyone knows where the nearest shelter is. No one has an answer. The streets are madness. Traffic is gridlocked. Drivers abandon vehicles in the middle of intersections, choosing to run instead. A bus sits empty, its doors hanging open, engines still running. People push and shove toward the subway entrances, hoping the underground will offer protection. The man follows the crowd, his heart hammering against his ribs. He has no plan, no destination. Just the primal need to move, to do something, to not stand still while the world tears itself apart. The subway platform is packed beyond capacity. People cram onto trains that can barely close their doors. He squeezes into a car, pressed against strangers who are all staring at phones, at screens displaying the same horrifying updates. A nuclear power plant in Europe has gone offline after a nearby strike. China has launched operations against naval assets in the Pacific. Russia has targeted NATO air defense systems across Eastern Europe. Each notification is another crack in the foundation of the world as everyone knew it. The train lurches forward, then stops. The lights flicker. Someone screams. The intercom crackles with static, then a voice instructs everyone to remain calm. That service is being suspended, that passengers need to evacuate immediately. The doors slide open onto a platform even more crowded than the one they left. The man is swept along by the current of bodies, upstairs, through turnstiles, back into the chaos above ground. Explosions rumble in the distance. Not close, but close enough to feel. Close enough to make everyone duck instinctively, to make hearts skip beats. Fighter jets scream overhead, so low the sound is physically painful. The man covers his ears, watching as the aircraft disappear beyond the skyline. Are they ours? He wonders. Does it even matter? Communication networks are failing. His phone shows no signal, then one bar, then nothing again. He tries to load a news site, but pages will not load. When his screen finally refreshes, the headlines are apocalyptic. Confirmed strikes on multiple continents. Casualties estimated in the thousands and climbing. Nations activating emergency protocols. The term nuclear escalation appears in every article, and his stomach twists into knots. He finds himself near a public square where a massive screen usually displays advertisements. Now it shows a government broadcast. A spokesperson, surrounded by officials, explains that the situation is fluid, that response measures are underway. The spokesperson states that citizens must follow evacuation routes marked on emergency apps. The crowd watches in stunned silence. Someone asks the person next to them what evacuation routes mean if no one can access their phones. No one has an answer. The hours blur together. The sun rises on a city that looks nothing like it did the night before. Smoke hangs in the air from fires burning unchecked across the metropolitan area. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Ambulances cannot navigate the clogged streets. Hospitals are turning away anyone without critical injuries because they are preparing for mass casualties that may or may not come, depending on how far this conflict goes. The man walks without direction, joining streams of people moving away from the city center. Everyone has heard rumors. That downtown is a target. That government buildings will be hit next. That nowhere is safe. The rumors feed on themselves, growing more terrifying with each retelling. Someone claims to have seen a mushroom cloud on the horizon. Someone else insists that invasion forces are landing on the coast. No one can verify anything, so everyone believes everything. He passes a school that has been converted into a makeshift shelter. Families huddle in gymnasiums, in hallways, anywhere there is space. Children cry. Adults stare at walls, processing trauma that has not even fully unfolded yet. Volunteers try to distribute supplies, but there is not enough. There will never be enough. By midday, the scale of the first wave becomes clearer. Military bases across Europe have been hit hard. Command and control centers are offline or operating on backup systems. In the Pacific, naval assets have engaged in firefights that leave vessels burning and sinking. Taiwan is under sustained bombardment. Okinawa has been struck repeatedly. American missile fields, hidden in remote plains, have been targeted with precision strikes designed to eliminate second strike capability. The man finds a working radio in an abandoned shop. He sits on the floor, listening as analysts try to make sense of the chaos. They speak in careful language about strategic objectives and response timelines, but underneath the professionalism is unmistakable fear. One expert suggests that the attacks were designed to create decision paralysis, to force leaders into impossible choices between immediate retaliation and restraint. Another argues that this is just the beginning, that the first 24 hours are about positioning for what comes next. What comes next? The phrase echoes in his mind. He looks around at the empty shop, at the shattered windows. He looks at the world outside that has become unrecognizable. What comes next is uncertainty measured in megatons. What comes next is the thin line between conventional warfare and the unthinkable. As night falls again, the city is darker than he has ever seen it. Power grids are down across entire regions. The stars are visible for the first time in years, bright and indifferent to the suffering below. He walks past checkpoints where exhausted soldiers check identification, where lines of refugees wait for permission to pass into zones deemed safer, though no one really believes anywhere is safe anymore. He thinks about his brother, about everyone he could not reach, about the randomness of survival in the opening hours of something this massive. Some people were in the wrong place when the strikes came. Some made it to shelters in time. Some are still trying to get home to families they may never see again. The radio broadcasts a message from a coalition of nations calling for immediate ceasefire, for talks, for de-escalation before the point of no return. But other voices respond with defiance, with promises of overwhelming response, with rhetoric that sounds like the door closing on any peaceful resolution. The man wonders if anyone in power understands that millions of people just want this to stop, that the first 24 hours have already destroyed so much that the next 24 could destroy everything. He finds shelter in a basement crowded with strangers. No one speaks much. Everyone listens to the sounds outside. Distant explosions, aircraft engines, the wail of sirens that never seem to stop. A kid asks his father if they will be okay. The father hesitates, then nods. But the man sees the lie in his eyes. No one knows if they will be okay. No one knows anything anymore. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.